This is Saints 4 Takeaways, sponsored by American Men Roofing.
I would call this game Rock Bottom Part 2. Last week was Rock Bottom Part 1. The Baltimore Ravens destroyed the Saints, although I think you could make the case that this week was worse because unlike the Ravens, the Steelers are not a playoff team. Now, technically, the Saints are still in the playoff hunt. Football Outsiders has their chances at a slim 5.3% to get to the postseason. That's roughly a 1 in 19 chance. There were so many problematic areas, but let's start our 4 takeaways with this. The Steelers simply ran over the Saints. Najee Harris and company rushed for 217 yards Sunday. And here's the thing. Before the game, the Steelers were averaging 108 yards rushing a game. They were 22nd in the NFL in rushing offense. Against the Saints, they got 5 yards a carry. 217 yards is by far Pittsburgh's best rushing effort of the season. And then meanwhile, the Saints offense was actually worse than the defense. And the Saints have to make a change at quarterback. They now have 2 choices. Either give Jameis Winston the chance to let it rip and throw the ball downfield, or give Taysom Hill the chance to just run over people. But either way, what the Saints are doing now just isn't working. They had 186 yards of total offense in Pittsburgh. That's a season low. It's exceptionally bad. They were also bad last week against the Ravens. That's 2 straight weeks of lifeless offense. And look, I know the injuries hurt, but at this point in the season, everyone has injuries. And I'm not even saying a quarterback change will help. I'm just saying you can't get any worse than this. At number 2, I am left with this. Howie won. Now, Howie is Eagles general manager Howie Roseman. Philadelphia owns the Saints' first-round pick in this coming April's draft. And right now, that is the 4th overall pick in the draft. This is the pre-draft trade. The Eagles had 3 first-round picks. The Saints wanted one of those. Roseman wins this trade because he turned a late teens pick in round 1 into a top 4 pick, and Philadelphia still gets the Saints' second-rounder in 2024. Now, Trevor Penning may turn into a great player, but he hasn't played it down yet this season. And right now, you'd certainly rather have a top 4 pick in April. Few teams regularly trade away draft picks like the Saints do. And in this case, it hurts the rebuild. It hurts it badly. And it sure looks like that is what is coming for the Saints. And we still have 7 games to go in the season. We will deep dive into rebuilding topics later. But my number 1 takeaway from watching this game in Pittsburgh is we miss you. This duo brought New Orleans a lot of joy and a lot of wins. And the run lasted so long and had so many waves that we all got used to it. But the fact is, in sports, eras end, and it sure feels like the greatest era of Saints football has now ended, and a restart is coming. But I also think this: how the Saints play over these last 7 games will determine how much of the current structure gets blown up. And that is my 4 takeaways from the sad, sobering loss in Pittsburgh.